Out. Don't stop. Ah. You might want to add a clap. Let's go. I can't hear you. Next lane. I can't hear the CA. Put your hands together for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. What? Am I being billed for it? 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. I thought I was being billed for it. Ladies and gentlemen, there's some round of applause. And so this is how we welcome you with warmth and fervor to the city in the center of the world, Accra, Ghana. I am, by the grace of God, again, Jerry Edemajololo, and I welcome you ever so warmly. Today we gather here for an amazing event. When the 7 kingdoms gathered in the Game of Thrones, there was one man, Tyrion Lannister, who asked a very important question. What unites a people? Flags, gold, armies, stories, he replied. There is nothing like a great story. But what has Lannister and Game of Thrones got to do with us today? Everything, I tell you. Everything. Because today we gather to tell stories. Stories of partnerships for good made possible by Global Communities Ghana in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation and all our partners. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and celebrate an amazing journey of effective partnerships that have helped many disadvantaged Ghanaians, and today we're here and Ghana is the better for it. This morning, ladies and gentlemen, we want to tell you some very amazing and wonderful stories of men and women who, by joining this great initiative of ours, the YIEDIE initiative, have become skilled artisans, and today they can also join the workforce, earning a livelihood and contributing meaningfully to society. I trust that by the time we're through, you will see that your time has been well spent and you clearly can understand and appreciate what we do as global communities in conjunction with all our partners. This morning, we're live on our Facebook platform, Global Communities Ghana. Please reach out to all your friends and tell them to plug in and to appreciate what we're doing for Ghana, for Africa, and the world at large. This morning, we're privileged to be joined by some great friends of ours, the Executive Director of the Council for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, COTVET in Ghana, Dr. Fred Che Asamoah joins us, the Executive Director. A round of applause. I hope you don't mind if I relocate you. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause as he takes his seat right here. We're privileged to be joined also by the Director for Economic Growth of the Global Communities Headquarters. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Carla Yoda. Thank you for joining us. We say Akwaba in Ghana, and you say, yeah, Akwaba. You're in the spirit. Let's also make welcome, in typical Ghanaian style, a Senior Vice President for Partnerships and Programs at the Global Communities Headquarters, Madam Leona Milburn. Welcome. And we say Akwaba to you too. Let's also make welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the Country Director for Global Communities Ghana, Mr. Alberto Wilde. Thank you very much. We make welcome also a representative of the MasterCard Foundation, our key partner, Mr. Amos Odero. Thank you. And in our midst also this morning is our very own, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Edem Agbe, Executive Director of the PDA. Okay. This morning's program, ladies and gentlemen, is rather brief, but it's also very packed in the sense that it's an experience. Most of the things that you're going to be hearing are experiences you're going to have. You're going to see at first hand how these skills artisans are putting their skills to work by constructing things that we can use for life. There's a big secret, but I'm not telling you now. You'll see that very shortly. This morning, ladies and gentlemen, when you look through the program, you see that we have 3 sections. The first section is what I call the opening section, which would have 4 speeches culminating in the keynote address by our guest of honor. We shall then go for a snack break. We come back, and then we shall have 2 amazing presentations culminating in a panel discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go for lunch. And when we do come back from lunch, we're going to hear at first hand some of the experiences of the beneficiaries of this initiative. And then the surprise that we've all been waiting for will be unveiled. Are we poised? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, are we poised? Come on. Let's make welcome to officially welcome all of us and to state our purpose of gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, the Country Director, Global Communities Ghana Office, Mr. Alberto YIEDIE.
Good morning. I think it's better. Thank you very much. I officially welcome you all to this nice event. I would like to thank the project director, Kafui, for putting up such a great event. I would like to welcome certain dignitaries here, the representatives of the Ministry of Youth and Employment, the Ministry for Business Development National Youth Authority, Youth Employment Agency, the National Service Scheme, Skilled Sector Board Agency, AGI Construction Sector, the professional associations, dear partners, distinguished guests, media houses, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure to address this gathering today to celebrate with you the many successes of the Youth Inclusive Entrepreneurial Development Initiative for Employment, YIEDIE. This project has been implemented by Global Communities in partnership with MasterCard Foundation. This project is one of the many ways entrepreneurial skills Ghanaian youth are being harnessed to increase productivity to reduce unemployment rate in Ghana. I would like to thank the Ministry of Youth and Employment, National Youth Authority, Youth Employment Agency, National Service Schemes, Skilled Sector Board Agency, Ministry of Business Development Associations of Ghana Industries, AGI, and the Artisans Associations of Ghana, AAG, and all the other partners for their immense support during the implementation of this project. Please allow me to walk you through the journey of Global Communities Ghana, in the organizational, which is the organization behind YIEDIE. Global Communities, formerly Cooperative Housing Foundation, CHF, was founded in 1952 in the United States and is based out of the Washington, D.C. area. In 2007, Global Communities began working in Ghana to improve the living condition of the urban poor. Over the past 13 years, early success and continued support from a variety of donors and partners, including Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, MasterCard Foundation, and others, have allowed Global Communities Ghana to grow its programming activities. Projects now include youth engagement and workforce development, livelihoods and nutrition, water, sanitation and hygiene, and governance. Global Communities Ghana is based in Accra and it currently maintains 4 other field offices in Accra, Sekondi Takoradi, Kumasi, and Tamale. Most recently, Global Communities Ghana has worked in the WASH, livelihoods and nutrition, and youth development sectors under the water access, sanitation, and hygiene for the urban poor, WASH Up. WASH for Health, Resilience in the Northern Ghana, RING, and YIEDIE project have contributed significantly to improving the lives in both rural and urban communities in Ghana. In 2016, Global Communities implemented the WASH Up project, a 7-year USAID-funded project. WASH Up increased equitable access to improved water supply and basic facilities for urban poor communities in Ghana by improving infrastructure, promoting hygiene, behavior, change, and governance. At the end of WASH Up, over 60,000 people gain access to improved drinking water sources as well proper sanitation, and 500 private new water-related enterprises were established. In 2019, the 5-year USAID RING project was successfully completed. It was an integrated partnership under Feed the Future, initiated, funded by USAID, and designed to contribute the government of Ghana effort to sustainable reduce poverty and malnutrition, especially in the northern part of Ghana. The project improved livelihoods and nutritional status of vulnerable households and target communities in 17 metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies in the northern region. After 5 years, the RING project, more than 500,000 people in the northern region benefited from the savings loans, improved nutrition, improved sanitation, and drinking water. Currently, the WASH for Health project, also funded by USAID, has helped to accelerate sustainable improvement in water and sanitation access and improve hygiene behaviors in target districts in 10 out of the 16 regions in Ghana. The WASH for Health project has since 2015 provided over 220,000 deprived residents with almost 17,000 improved sanitation facilities, and 760 communities are declared open defecation free. Over 100,000 more residents have access to reliable water supply to provision of 200 boreholes and 3 small town water systems. Some selected institutions, specifically community-based health planning and services, CHIPS compounds, and public schools. Residents and schools have also received behavior change training and education in hand washing and menstrual hygiene. Global Communities has designed and produced an innovative sanitation facility in partnership with Duraplast, known as the Dignilu. It is durable, easy to install, a user-friendly latrine. We're happy to see that the government of Ghana has embraced the production and has purchased over 26,000 units. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Global Communities has over the years adopted participatory approaches and leverage on public and private sector investments, implementing projects to ensure sustainability. For instance, we adopted the community-led total sanitation to implement WASH and nutrition interventions. This approach is more suitable since communities have sense of ownership of the intervention as a result of their involvement in the process. Companies such as Unilever, Gasem, Duraplast, Groundforce, Caterpillar, Zenith Bank, to name a few, drawn by our implementation approach, have invested in the provision of washrooms and hand washing facilities for schools. In youth skills development, the project utilizes the integrated youth-led market systems model to improve the capacity of youth and service providers across value chains. Youth will ultimately benefit from having job opportunities and higher income, while sector stakeholders such as the private sector firms, financial services providers, training institutions, and government are expected to benefit from improved coordination and capacity. Global Communities is proud to have been able to contribute to the development of Ghana through the YIEDIE program. YIEDIE is leaving behind more than 25,000 youth with training, more than 16,000 youth with technical skills via apprenticeship, and more than 9,000 entrepreneurships, of which 52% have also improved their economic situation by either taking the entrepreneurship or wage employment. The number of youth who have financial savings also increased from 23% to 60%. It is training and are at the various levels of employment. There have been considerable shift in the perception around female participation in construction. The impact has been particularly visible in the number of women who enroll trade areas other than interior decor, which is traditional female-dominated trade area. Female enrolled in YIEDIE increased from 11% at the end of the first year to 33% at the end of the fourth year. The majority of these women enrolled in machine operation, painting, tiling, aluminum fabrication, electrical and metal fabrication, traders which were previously unwelcoming for females. The YIEDIE follow-up survey found that 1 year after the completion of training, 78% of the youth had successfully transitioned to employment, self-employment, or further education and training, according to the data among the participants who recently developed construction skills. The proportion of youth who have had an income-generating activity, either employed or entrepreneurial, in the past 12 months has significantly increased from 35% to 71%. I believe YIEDIE deserve a round of applause. They have done an exceptional job. I earlier mentioned the public-private partnership approach in implementing our projects. YIEDIE has capitalized on this and has made significant strides. To begin with, YIEDIE policy engagement at the national level are tied to the activities of the Youth Sector Engagement Group. As one of the structures of the Youth Forward Initiative, the YSEG facilitates and sustains continuous dialogue between policymakers, development partners, ministries, departments, and agencies, and other relevant institutions of youth policies and challenges of youth unemployment and underemployment. This is to ensure that policies formulated for the promotion of youth development, employment, and entrepreneurship reflect the actual needs of young people in Ghana. At the startup, YIEDIE formed a Technical Advisory Committee, TAC, to serve the fulcrum around which its policy, engagement, and other project activities revolve. It is chaired by the Council for Technical and Vocational Educational and Training, CODVET, the regulator of technical and vocational education in Ghana, and has membership drawn from construction value chain stakeholders, including the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, GRIDA, AGI, Construction Group Association of Building and Civil Engineer Contractors, Ghana, ABCECG, and Association of Road Construction, Ghana, ASROC, and the National Vocational Training Institute, NVTI, as well the youth representatives. The TAC enables regular, meaningful engagement within YIEDIE and stakeholders within the broader ecosystem, including the provision of timely information and guidance and changes in procurement policies and laws, government goals and objectives regarding the skills development, employment and entrepreneurship, and other development within the construction sector. YIEDIE also uses the TAC platform to promote Artisans Associations of Ghana, AAG, as a repository of well-trained, certified construction professionals to stakeholders in the sector. In collaboration with the AGI, Construction Sector Group, GRIDA, and ABCECG, the local content policy, the first of its kind, has been developed for the construction sector. Among other things, this policy is proposing that 70% of the Government of Ghana funded contracts be awarded to local firms. After several reviews, the policy is currently with the Works and Housing Ministry for its integration into the consolidated local government policy, local content policy, presently being developed. Along with this policy, youth business with the construction sector will also have the opportunity to be considered for the 30% of Government of Ghana funded projects, which will be reserved for firms run by youth and women. Youth entrepreneurship and employment will receive a massive boost at this policy. Once adopted, will be integrated into the local, regional, and national development plans. Distinguished partners and guests, YIEDIE, which includes its activity today, has set an example for entrepreneurial development and youth through public-private partnerships. This example allows us to engage with the private sector. Let us leverage on the investment through innovative proposals like YIEDIE. We hope that the closing of YIEDIE is not the end of an innovative means of youth development, but rather the achievements and lessons of YIEDIE will be used by the Government of Ghana and other companies, organizations, and investors to further invest in the youth development for a productive and prosperous Ghana. Thank you very much for your attention.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, the Country Director for Global Communities Ghana, Mr. Alberto Weldy. Thank you very much. Thanks for your passion and enthusiasm that has shown through every step of the way in making sure that your organization certainly empowers communities to take up developments and do so with local partners who can grow into self-sustaining institutions while playing roles in the country's development. We salute you and we say thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, a round of applause. Can you hear me? Really? I can't hear myself. It's been a journey, ladies and gentlemen, of what we call barriers, 10 breakthroughs, of challenges, 10 successes. Alluded to earlier by the country director, there have been several perceptions about the construction, about gender and whatnot. But we've surmounted all of those journeys. And ladies and gentlemen, in the course of this event, you're going to understand really how far we've come. In moving on, I would like to acknowledge all our partners who are here present. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know of MasterCard Foundation, but we have what we call the consortium partners. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to acknowledge with gratitude the African Aurora Business Network, AABN. A round of applause. The Opportunities Industrialization Center, Ghana, OICG. Let's hear it up for them. The Ghana AABN. Round of applause. How about Republic Boafo Limited? Ladies and gentlemen, they deserve a round of applause too. And all of you who have come as government, private sector, civil society organization, the press, we acknowledge you all and thank you for coming. To this end, ladies and gentlemen, we proceed by receiving a statement from the Senior Vice President in charge of partnerships and programs at the Global Communities Headquarters. Please make welcome Madame Lorna Milburn.
Good morning, esteemed guests. Good morning. Is this working?
Hello? One.
There, thank you. Good morning, esteemed guests. Good morning, YIEDIE team. And good morning to everyone who is a believer in the youth of Ghana. This is truly a signature day. The YIEDIE program is part of the MasterCard Foundation Youth Forward program. And so I can truly say that Global Communities has been very pleased to walk step by step with the MasterCard program to change the landscape for youth in Ghana. We thank our partners because together we walked hand in hand as we looked at the whole ecosystem that would help youth in Ghana succeed. I also want to thank our mentors, the alumni associations, the professional associations, the ministries, and all those people who know that youth can succeed if there is an ecosystem. I also want to thank communities. You opened your hearts for us. You helped your youth come into our programs. I want to thank the youth who had the grit and the courage to step away from life as normal and come into this program. Now, as we celebrate this signature day, I want to turn to someone that you all know. His name is Ted Turner. He is the founder of the cable news network. How many of you have heard of CNN? How many of you watch CNN? This is what Ted Turner says. And this is what we must remember as we are supporting the youth. He said, I've learned that every step forward is towards a greater whole. That greater whole is what we have to look at. Youth, you've taken a step, but what is your greater whole to contribute to your families, your communities, and your society, and your country? Partners, the ecosystem, the government, the networks, the professional associations. What is your part in this greater whole for the youth of Ghana? And for all of us, let's stop and pause for just a moment. We're here today. We're gone tomorrow. But what is our step individually? And not only for the youth, but individually, I come back to that, towards your greater whole. Keep that in mind as you leave these halls today, as you leave the end of this 5-year program in the next couple of months. What is your step for the youth and for yourself towards a greater whole?
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause. We thank you very much, Madam Lona Milburn, for those very poignant and fascinating thoughts that you've brought to bear. They are very well appreciated. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me to just switch the program a little bit in view of certain changes that must be made. Our guest of honor has to attend to the calls of cabinet, and so we shall allow him to make his address now. We're pleased this morning to receive in our midst the Executive Director of COTVET, and ladies and gentlemen, it is the Council for Technical and Vocational Educational and Technical Training, right here in Ghana. He's an accomplished pharmacist who has tremendous experience in his practice in the United States and has a knack for transforming organizations. Since joining COTVET in 2017, ladies and gentlemen, he's led this great team of men and women to build skills for industry. Key amongst the initiatives he's brought to bear is the My TVET campaign, which is a COTVET initiative to debunk wrong perceptions about technical and vocational training whilst generating more interest for that sector. It's my pleasure to invite to speak to us, ladies and gentlemen, the Executive Director of COTVET, Dr. Fred Che Asamoah.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning to you all. The Vice President of Strategic Partnership and Program, Global Communities USA, the Technical Director and other leaders of global communities, the Youth Employment Agency, the National Youth Authority, Otumfuo Osei Tutu's Charity Foundation rep, associations of professional industries. Here we have the sector skills body for construction here. Leaders of other industry sectors, especially the construction sector, representatives of other vocational training institutions, our friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I think an exciting time in Ghana now to see that we are taking the bull by the horn, that the youth who are the future of this nation, a Ghana beyond aid, is at the center of our conversation. That is why it gives me a great pleasure to be part of the closeout ceremony of the 4th Youth Inclusive Entrepreneurial Initiative for Employment, YIEDIE project. On behalf of the board and the management of CODVET, on behalf of the Ministry of Education, and on behalf of government, let me express my sincere appreciation to global communities and aid partners for inviting and involving the Council for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, CODVET, throughout the project implementation. Indeed, the level of cooperation with the Council had been a good one. And as such, it's been a phenomenal and with such pride that I salute all for the job well done. Of course, other nations also recognizes that this very important thing we talk about, technical and vocational education, which studies have shown that it makes up almost 80% of every workplace skills, is very critical and very important for development. And we have made a significant investment into TVET to gain an edge in the global market by investing better training institution and supporting our teachers, as well as committing to clear standards that will produce graduates with more skills. It's very good that we as a country will continue to make skills acquisition aspirational for every Ghanaian. We must therefore stop playing catch-up and put in place measures that can help us overtake others in the global marketplace. That is why His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has stated that he wants Ghana to be a center of excellence for TVET, both in Africa and in the world. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for any nation to outcompete its neighbors, then it must also endeavor to out-educate its citizens, and skill training making it a key factor in their development. The youth constitute the true wealth and the future of the country, and as such, there's a need to be prepared and prepare them adequately for the future. While many efforts have been made in the past to harness the potential of Ghana's growing youth population to contribute meaningfully to the country's socio-economic development, is yet to be done. Much has been achieved. The youth unemployment and the underemployment have become a major obstacle to the attainment of this goal. Indeed, in spite of the strong economic growth trends and substantial expansion in access to education and overall human resource development within the last 2 decades, major obstacles to the full utilization of human resources still persist. And I'm glad to say that the government of today is doing so much to tackle this problem. According to the World Bank's, Ghana's youth population increased from 1.1 million in 1960 to 4.6 million in 2010. That means that it has even increased further today. Out of this number, the most recent Ghana Living Standards Survey Round 6 reports that 1 in every youth in Accra and 15% in other urban areas in Ghana are unemployed. For those between the ages of 15 and 24 years, the report suggests that 11% are unemployed, with an additional 42% in some form of unemployment. The youth is likely to be employed more than the older ones. For females, this challenge is more precarious in the sense that although there are more females than males in Ghana now, female representation in most industries and sectors of the economy is still low. Not only are women underrepresented in leadership and managerial roles, they are also underrepresented across all levels of employment. That is why it's been an effort of this government to include more women in leadership positions. Females are particularly underrepresented in the traditionally male-dominated sectors like construction, where only 6% of the approximately 300 plus people employed in 2015 were females. As a result of it, the launch of My TVET campaign and to ensure that we get more female in TVET as far as the male-dominated areas are concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, there is the need for increased investment in young people to develop relevant skills for the industry, especially those in construction sector, where concerns over the limited application of standards in terms of skills and competence continue to bedevil the sector. This government has a number of occasions and platforms indicated their commitment to address youth unemployment and create an enabling environment for youth entrepreneurship, employment, and for the industry to be successful. Government has promised not to be in the way of industry, but to support the industry by ensuring enabling environment. While we admit the pace have been slow in the past, it is an undisputable fact that a lot is being done now. To demonstrate this commitment, the government, since it assumed the reins of power, immediately came out with a 5-year strategic plan for TVET and have embarked on a number of initiatives within the TVET sector to improve its capacity and ensure we produce the required manpower and competencies needed to support the country's industrialization drive to promote youth employment and entrepreneurship in the country. Under the Ghana TVET voucher project, government is providing competency-based training to registered mastercraft persons, their workers, and apprentices, and also to improve access to accredited technical and vocational education and training at no cost. The Ghana TVET voucher project has provided vouchers for training of over 10,000 people across the 11 regions in the country where the project is currently being implemented as of 2019, December. The voucher project will, among other, help these artisans in the formal sector with limited formal training to obtain a National Proficiency 1 and 2 certificate. This is expected to help the country consolidate its middle income status and build an industry-driven economy capable of providing decent jobs that are suitable and sustainable for development. In addition to this, government has created a database for trained apprentices and intends to harmonize all apprentices in the country to support the industry. Further, it's going to enhance the skill development fund that will support skill acquisition in the country. Also, government has developed an elaborate plan to enhance skill development in the country through the Ministry of Education by realigning all TVET institutions under one ministry to ensure standardization and harmonization. Government is also working on a national apprenticeship policy, which it was just initiated and validated to ensure lifelong learning for TVET. Through the Ministry of Education and the Council for TVET, we have established sector skill body in the construction sector, agriculture, and tourism and hospitality, and we intend to establish for all the sectors of the economy. As a nation, we are engaged in many important endeavors, such as improving the economy, reforming the healthcare system, road construction, and other growth industries of the 21st century. But our success in these efforts and our success in the future as a people will ultimately depend on what happens within the TVET space. How well we are able to train the next generation of workers is what can help us overtake the rest of the world. Our future is determined each and every day when the youth enter classrooms and workshops ready to learn and ready to acquire skills and make them work ready. It is in this light that I wish to commend the global communities and its partners for the successful implementation of YIEDIE project by applying an integrated market system model to improve the capacity of the youth and service providers across the construction sector. YIEDIE has contributed in preparing over 25,000 youth artisans for the job for market, and exercise that has been quite a task to achieve. Indeed, the innovation YIEDIE brought into the training of artisans and linking them to available jobs have created a whole new excitement around skills development and honed the interest of many youth, especially females in construction-related activities. By constantly engaging the Council in its implementation, YIEDIE has supported the National Qualification Framework through the development of curriculum for plumbing and heating from level 1 to 4. I am confident that we will be able to partner with global communities in meaningful ways to engage with young people in this country and give meaning to government's vision for technical and vocational education in Ghana. And I look forward to further collaborative effort in this direction. On this note, we also call on the private sector to support government huge investment to the TVET sector so we can develop their future workers. I would like to thank you all, and I congratulate YIEDIE and partners for a job well done. May God richly bless you and our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Fred Che Asamoah, Executive Director, COTVET. How about a round of applause? Thank you, sir, for those very warm words of commendation and your warm assurances of cooperation in the future. And since you don't have much time to be with us, we want to show you something. That all that we've said to this end is not just talk. It is backed by action. Ladies and gentlemen, I take you over to the side of the hall where we're putting together an edifice for the Accra International Conference Center. Please, enjoy the view. I don't want to believe the cable has been cut in Portugal again. Okay. And so we'll be seeing that shortly, a live feed of the work that's ongoing by the side of the hall. I shall respectfully invite you, our guest of honor, together with a team from Global Communities, to please come for a very symbolic photograph as you make your way out of here. A round of applause for them as they come. Can we have the holding slide at the back to capture this photograph? And so all is said now. Our guest of honor and our very, very esteemed partners, please turn around and behold the work that's ongoing. Our guest of honor, together with our executives from Global Communities, please behold the work that's ongoing. And the devil came into the picture. No problem. We shall take our picture nonetheless. And this is how we show our commitment to the government's quest of achieving a Ghana beyond aid based on industrialization. And we come in handy as the builders of men with skills and all that is necessary to advance that cause. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. I now ask that please you turn around and see the work that is ongoing to have a good appreciation. And so, Dr. Samoa, please do tell the President of the Republic that before Ghana Beyond Aid, YIEDIE has started. To this end, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we applaud the men and women who have done this? Wow. In a short while, we'll all go and have an experience of what has gone behind this great edifice that we behold. In moving on now, it's my pleasure to invite to also deliver a statement, ladies and gentlemen, the project director of the YIEDIE project. She has led this team with commendable zeal, ladies and gentlemen, passion and enthusiasm. I could not think of a worthy ambassador of this project than our very own Madam Vera Kafui Mills Odoy. A round of applause as she comes. And your work certainly speaks far more than anything else we can say. We say congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for that warm welcome. I always want to acknowledge my young people who are in our midst. So if our young people are here, we're going to respond the way we do in Ghana. Chobai! Chobai! Yeah, that's when you know that young people form the center of development. And I would like to duly acknowledge protocol and go straight to the exciting piece of everything. But I would want to acknowledge the Vice President, President for
strategic partnerships and programs, resident in Global Communities, Washington. I'd like to acknowledge my able boss. I'll start with Carla Yoda, who has actually pushed me to be who I am. If you see me here, that is the person who has actually done a lot of work. So would want to acknowledge Carla Yoda, the Technical Director, Economic Growth. And to the man who has made me, strong to engage the very tough sector, I would like to acknowledge Alberto Wild, the Country Director for Ghana. That has been very helpful. And to our able executive directors of the consortium partners, I want to say that you have done fantastically to enable us to get to this point. To Republic Boafo, the MD, who is here, I would like to acknowledge you. Mrs. Evelyn Osei-Tutu, I'd like to acknowledge Etonam Asamoah, the able project manager within Republic Boafo, the one who we sometimes dare to call president of AAG, President Gideon Bido. We want to acknowledge you as well. And then we also want to acknowledge OICG, who have been sitting and looking at the technical pieces. To the young lady who comes in to calm my nerves and to ensure that the youth businesses are established, I would want to acknowledge Mrs. Maureen Irekwa Odoe, the very tough team that has done this. But if you have seen the inroads within the sector, one man has set me running, and today I would want to acknowledge him. Mr. Roxon Dogbega, the AGI chair, who has, I haven't been buffeted this much to make me ensure that I am able to deal with the sector. I would want to acknowledge you. To Mr. Samuel Amegaibo, who made me understand the estates sector. Today, I acknowledge you as well. To all those who have stood with me, we're looking at those who have ensured that people have been employed. I would list your names at the end, but I can't go ahead without acknowledging Sir Roland Queno. Yes, I have surrounded myself with very tough guys. I think that has helped me a lot. Mr. Albert Debord Viala, I want to acknowledge you. And to those tough women who are in the sector, I would want to say, Joanna Nyamezima Kwakwa, you have stood with me to understand what design architecture is all about and what it takes to bring women on board. The same goes to Araba Swaneka, and to ensure that that works for our young females and how they can be tough. Today you're looking all pretty and dolled up. I imagine and I remember seeing you all in the technical gear and how I had also had to change and look likewise. Without His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei-Tutu Charity Foundation, Osei-Tutu Charity, Osei-Tutu the Second Charity Foundation, and Her Royal Highness, Lady Julia, I acknowledge the inroads that you have made extensively in enabling me reach high places in Ghana and beyond to pull technical people into the arena to ensure that young people get jobs. But what an exciting journey this has been. The investment from our development partners, MasterCard Foundation, that has enabled 25,479 disadvantaged Ghanaian youth today to become employable in different levels of the construction sector value chain. And this could not have been possible if we didn't have a strategic partnership with the academia. And I would want to acknowledge the School for Development Studies. And the director is here together with the able team that have enabled us to do some synergy between what the academe would look in terms of transition into jobs, the theories and the frameworks that have worked for entrepreneurship. University of Cape Coast, we acknowledge you today. And the Youth Inclusive Entrepreneurial Development Initiative for Employment, YIEDIE, has modeled and provided workable pathways for disadvantaged employable youth so they can transition from training to work. In 2015, global communities embarked on this journey and carefully designed a construction labor market systems approach, a model that was trending enough to ensure that young people could be absorbed in the new boom economy for the country, and to expose the emerging opportunities that were trending elsewhere so that young people who would be called to be entry artisans would be able to find their labor on the skilled labor market. Global communities then identified 5 capable organizations, and I acknowledged them earlier, with record of working on large-scale youth-based programs, namely Opportunities Industrialization Center, Ghana, Africa Rural Business Network, Republic Boafo, and Artisans Association of Ghana, to form that strong and powerful consortium so we could jointly achieve the ambitious objective of reaching 23,700 young people. But before this was done, we had to launch out to see what the platform looked like or what the ecosystem was saying. 44% of construction companies that were engaged were not sure that they would engage young people or the services of young people. 98% who were interviewed, again, perceived the youth to be qualified for labor work. 78% perceived women to be suitable for interior decor. 90% also perceived youth to be lazy and believed their laziness meant that youth were not interested in rigorous work such as construction. 75% of contractors valued TVET certification and professional qualification. And the rest felt that if we could have 100% of young people who had the topmost qualification, they would be absorbed in the job. 1% of contractors perceived that the private sector was not ready for young people. With these perceptions acting as a backdrop in the background, we had an ambitious task of shaping a new crop of skilled entry-level young artisans, as well as a course to shift the mindset regarding TVET. And so that we wanted TVET to become a place that was absent of the thoughts of people who saw it as a place for non-performing learners. Secondly, our aim was to use a responsive model which would demonstrate it was workable and would challenge the long-standing perceptions that were in the ecosystem. Having done this and having achieved what we have done, today we stand tall and proud saying that we have 25,479 artisans who will be able to get into the sector and establish footprints that have been made by 4 or artisans who are now master craftsmen. And we believe that all of us who are gathered here today would add on to what they have achieved. But what have we learned? We have gone ahead to say using deliberate and focused efforts at identifying and providing sustainable key incentives that tackle the critical push factors that go ahead to disenfranchise women in skills building is helpful. In order to encourage young women to take up male-dominated trades in construction, there's the need to incentivize their learning and to ensure that the journeys they go through have selected items that can ensure that the impediments that they face day in, day out can be removed. Things like scholarships, health insurances, travel and transport, childcare services, startups, tools, psychosocial counseling, professional memberships, mentoring are critical measures that can take young women a long way. Innovating the existing dominant approaches or practice of skills training and ensuring a data-driven approach towards identifying skill gaps that go ahead to inform the choices of in-demand areas are necessary. We will need to regularly and constantly and consistently carry out skills gaps analysis to ascertain where we would be going as an economy, and to also ensure that the young people who are developed in skills can have longer shelf lives when it comes to the labor market. Soft skills are critical for effectively providing young people with the jump start to work, readiness, and social preparedness. The requisite sector professional qualifications add value and ensure that they have a jump start in getting jobs. Therefore, incorporating a standard approach in qualifications that are recognizable across borders for our youth places them in the most sought after job areas on the job market. Properly harvesting our informal finance skills that we have acquired through childhood, things like susu, things like giving children money, things like getting them to save. We can model that into structured ways of accumulating wealth that can effectively enable young people see the formal banking sector as a place of opportunity and a place where they can get literate financially. Job matching systems require collaborative effort between the private sector, the government, and training institutions, while one determines the human capital needs that need to feed the market, the other translates them into competency-based learning capsules that prepares the job market, young people, or job entrants. And the latter creates the appropriate policy for the ecosystem for them to remain. Incorporating basic technology in today's skills training is a necessary ingredient for longer shelf lives in today's world of digitization. And most importantly, when the labor market systems of the construction sector are effectively strengthened for growth, it starts to create the needed access for the disadvantaged young people, especially women and persons with disability. And with all protocol observed, I'd like to welcome you today to today's program. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our able leader, the programs director for YIEDIE project, Madame Vera Kafui-Mills Odoi. It's been many setbacks, many challenges, many perceptions and all that, but ladies and gentlemen, we've prevailed and we've showed what is possible with the Ghanaian youth by training them and making them scalable and even scalable. Why don't we appreciate global communities one more time and the YIEDIE project? We would now like to showcase to you some of the men and women that have passed through this initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, we operate in 3 main cities, Accra, Kumasi, and Takoradi. I shall now invite from the oil city, Takoradi. Ladies and gentlemen, behold the YIEDIE team from Takoradi. And there they come, ladies and gentlemen. How about a round of applause for these gallant men and women? And ladies and gentlemen, from the heartland, Ashanti, from Kumasi, please welcome the YIEDIE team. And they come with the blessing of the golden stool. Ladies and gentlemen, Kumasi for you, a round of applause. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Accra, Ashaman and Tema, please behold the Greater Accra team, a round of applause. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. And so behold, the future of Ghana, the skilled men and women of the YIEDIE cohorts. A round of applause for them. Wow. Okay, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. I believe you have stories, amazing stories. Who is Ruth? You are Ruth. You are a metal fabricator, right? You were featured on the BBC. Walk us through your journey, just in 1.5. Oh, please, a round of applause. In 1.5 minutes, let me be gracious, let me make it 2 minutes. Walk us, where were you? How did you come into this? And what has the experience been? And what does the future also look like?
Thank you. I started schooling. I completed JHS 2007. There were few financial problems in the house, so I couldn't continue to the senior high school. So I was helping a certain woman to sell, to support my mother, to pay my siblings' fees. And after that, 2012, God opened small door for my mom. I was able to continue to the SHS, complete 2015. I still came back home without doing anything. There were nothing for me to do in the house. Even food was very difficult to get food to eat. So I was frustrated. One day, I heard YIEDIE project being announced in the community center. So I decided to join YIEDIE because it was my dream to become a metal fabricator whilst I was a child. So when I heard about the construction sector, then I joined. So I went for the screening. After the screening, we started the program. I started November, 3rd November 2015. God being so good, we passed through the training. After the training, we were given another training. AABN took us through the entrepreneurship skills so that we can also establish ourselves. At least I forget, we also got grant. You apply the grant, then if your proposal is picked, then they are able to support you with some kind of money so that you also establish yourself. So I got 6,240 out of the grant, so I established myself. If not YIEDIE, I won't be here today. And I will even not know where I will be. If you see me like this, then it's the work of YIEDIE. And I'm so grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And now the challenges are like a female metal worker. It's very difficult for them to understand that I can also work as the men do. But as time goes on, we are beating them because if they see you working, they become proud of you. Yes. You write a lot of proposals. You go with a lot of people. They know that you can do it, but their capability of they knowing you and the men, how they work together, is not there. So they always look down on us. But I did not give up. I did not give up. I still went on and went on. And this far is how I am. And my dream in next 5 years is to build a very big factory in metal fabrication. So as I train in the field as well, you go to the industry to learn from there also. So whenever you go out there, then you are in a professional field. Thank you.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Ruth. Who is Bismarck, or Bing Bismarck? You are an electrician from Kumasi. Share with us, what's the YIEDIE training like, and how has it benefited you?
Thank you very much. Good morning once again. Obin Bismarck is my name, but it seems everyone here is speaking English. Why? Me pacho yentitwi ana. Okay, me asantini. Enti then me pacho me bema mo nitwi. Me pacho ye frɛ me Obin Bismarck, me free Kumasi. Me electrician, professional electrician. Na pacho answer na you know. Na misua adwuma electrician. Enti me ti YIEDIE nka so omo ye entrepreneurship. Na me oh, ene ma me nkɔhwɛ bi. Me go say me go hwɛ bi. Ti me do honom na me pacho omo ye screening. Na me say den ma me go screening bi. Me screening ye na nyame adom me ye fa me. Ena me call entrepreneurship training no. In fact, entrepreneurship training na bo me pa because now I know say after say me sua adwuma no, then na me because obi me sua adwuma we a omo hu de omo be ba me sua adwuma we na through YIEDIE na me nya entrepreneurship skills no. Right now, me oni me ankasa me shop. Me ankasa me license am me master me won kwara me nya contractor. In fact, YIEDIE aboa me. Enye YIEDIE anka me nwa ha. YIEDIE sika na me to this very suit. And in fact, YIEDIE aboa me pa. And me macho yemo yasama YIEDIE madam ase.
Ladies and gentlemen, their words are few, but their hearts are bound with gratitude. A round of applause for these amazing men and women. Wow. And so at the end of this session, I would invite you all back for a group photograph with our executives. Please, a round of applause as they take their seats. Thank you very much. Wow, wow, wow. All this shows that it always seems impossible until it's done. Who would have thought that such a bold step by YIEDIE will yield such great results 5 years down? We salute you and the great work that you've done. We couldn't have done this alone, ladies and gentlemen. It certainly has come on the back of teamwork, and partnership. One partner who has stood tall by our side is the MasterCard Foundation, I beg your pardon, which seeks a world where everyone has an opportunity to learn and prosper. The foundation's work is guided by its mission to advance learning and promote financial inclusion for young people living in poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we're pleased to speak to us from the MasterCard Foundation, a representative, Mr. Amos Odero. How about a round of applause for him? Okay, he'll be joining us shortly. Let me now invite a president of the YIEDIE Alumni Association, ladies and gentlemen, Eliklim Kumadzuro, to share some thoughts with us. Eliklim. Take some YIEDIE steps.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Indeed, it's a great day for someone like me to be here. Mr. Chairman, representatives of the MasterCard Foundation, staff of Global Community, consortium partners, distinguished guests, fellow youth, all protocol observed. I'm pleased to be called upon to deliver a speech in my position as the National Youth President of the YIEDIE Alumni Association. I am a YIEDIE youth trained in interior Deco, currently the MD of Ellie Enterprise. Ellie Enterprise is to interior, exterior, and event management. This occasion being the closeout session of YIEDIE project needs to be celebrated based on its achievement. YIEDIE sought to train disadvantaged youth between the age of 17 to 24, like myself, in the construction sector. As we all know, construction sector is the backbone of Ghana's economy. And it's worth applauding YIEDIE for training over 25,000 youth in the construction sector. Mr. Chairman, after the project, some of us have started working on our own, others with companies, others with training even other people to work for them. Mr. Chairman, some of these successful businesses are Clear Power Electricals. We have Glow Gallery, we have Door Events, etc., and etc. Yeah. With the support of YIEDIE, the Alumni Association was formed to organize the past training of the project. As a unified body, the association has created a platform for peer mentoring, networking. The association has also adopted a constitution that will help us work effectively. Currently, the association has registered with the National Youth Authority and Registrar General Department. Mr. Chairman, having said all this, it's worth applauding. I would like to commend and thank all persons who played part in the YIEDIE project, from donor partners, consortium partners, TVET, MMDAs, CODVET, and many more, by reaching this far for the good of the nation. If possible, I stretch that side again. If possible, we humbly request that there will be part 2 of this project. Having received a lot of contacts from youth that have not been trained on the project, wanting to be part of the project because of where we are today, we humbly ask that the part 2 of this project come again. YIEDIE has helped us to gain the MVTI Certificate 1, Proficiency 1, that is helping most of us gain jobs. And we'll humbly say that if 15,000 more youth will be brought on board by the training coming back, will be helpful for the youth of Ghana. We'd like to say thank you, God bless you all, and God bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And today you didn't make a political speech. God bless you. And so in a short while, ladies and gentlemen, we bring this first segment to a close, but we have something special to do. Allow me to welcome back again the Ghana Dance Ensemble. They'll treat us to some very delectable performances, and then I'll bring the surprise. A round of applause for them as they come. Ghana Dance Ensemble, take it away. And they can do this all day. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the Ghana Dance Ensemble. Yo, thank you. Thank you. And so this is how the gods, the ancestors, the chiefs, elders, and the good people of Ghana show their appreciation to global communities and the various partners for this great gesture, training the youth of Ghana with employable skills for growth in our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause once again. Joining us this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased to receive the National Youth Authority and the CEO. Would you please make welcome formally Mr. Sylvester Matthew Tete. A round of applause. Thank you very much. And you would have the last word for this morning before we go on the break. Before his speech, however, I would like us to have a little appreciation of the various companies that have employed YIEDIE graduates. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause? Wow. 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 Amazing, amazing, amazing. And we say kudos to you, YIEDIE, for this great investment in the youth of Ghana. It's now my pleasure to invite you formally, the CEO of the National Youth Authority, to give us your remarks. A round of applause.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC, Chairperson, the President of YIEDIE, partners gathered here this morning. Let me say a very big thank you for such a wonderful organization and what you've done so far for the young people of this country. In fact, I've been in office in less than 4 months, but what YIEDIE has done and they are doing is quite remarkable. This morning, I have to stop halfway a very important function to be here because I gave them my word that YIEDIE is a strategic partner for giving skills to the young people of our country. Ghana, we have a huge challenge. The youth of this country, especially the out-of-school youth, craving for this opportunity are in millions. I've been around 6 regions already, and the number of people calling on us to support them with such opportunity, it's enormous. I think that we should continue to partner with institutions like YIEDIE and encourage them. And government is committed, and the National Youth Authority is committed to continue to partner them to give skills to the millions of young people out there looking for this opportunity. And I must commend them that the leadership of YIEDIE has shown exemplary leadership and commitment to the young people of our country. We are equally committed to support them whichever way possible to ensure that the young people of our country are given the necessary support to help develop our country. That is the core mandate of the National Youth Authority, and we are committed. I can assure you, partners, continue to support them and many more of such institutions in this country to be able to partner with government to deliver the mandate for the young people of our country. Thank you very much. I commend you.
Mr. Sylvester Matthew Tete is the CEO of the National Youth Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate him with a round of applause. Thank you very much, sir, for the great work you do and how you come in handy to augment our efforts. We say thank you. To this end, ladies and gentlemen, we shall pause for a moment of what we call coffee break. It will happen right in the exhibition area, and so we shall have a formal photograph of all the parties involved here, after which they shall lead to officially open the exhibition. I shall now invite all the YIEDIEs, I beg your pardon, mentees who have passed through the program, ladies and gentlemen, from the various regions, Accra, Kumasi and Takrady to please come forth. A round of applause for them as they come. They will be joined by our global executives from global communities and our local executives, together with our partners, MasterCard, and the consortium partners. Please, a round of applause as they come. Oh, mama muhunya shit so bawal for your tea. Eh? Let's make it snappy, please. Okay. And so, Mr. Wild, Madam Vice President, together with the CEO NYA, respectfully invite you. Our resource persons, respectfully, I invite you to please join Mr. Roxon Dogbaga, Mr. Magaibo. The youth from Takrady, where are you? Okay. Mr. Photographer, do you need additional lens? You okay? Okay. Are we good? Ladies and gentlemen, a resounding round of applause. And so, coffee break is for 15 minutes while we take a tour of the exhibition area, and then we shall reconvene here at exactly 11:25. Ladies and gentlemen, bon appetit, and we'll see you shortly.